Hello, everyone. I'm Devil Tongue here with Phantom Other. We're actually babysitting today. So when you hear a baby in the background, not if but when, it is a real baby. It is a live baby. It's an alive baby. Want to say hi, baby? Well, right now he has his fingers in his mouth, but in a sense, he's kind of bullying us. Today's episode topic is about bullying in light of what happened on 9/27 in the Bronx at PS 67. And this is a subject that's very close to me. So, I feel it needs to be talked about. And we need real dialogue on how to solve this crisis if it can be solved. But I'm going to let Phantom Other take it away right now with her take on bullying.
Bullying to me is a form of disrespect of others' personal space. There's no need or no right for you to feel that because someone is different, that you have the right to pick on them, the right to call their name out, for you to harass them because they're living their life the way they want to. It could be the matter of race, color, or creed. People step over this boundary thinking that everybody should be just like them, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Basically, what it is that you need to accept them for their own individualism, meaning that each person is one person. Everybody cannot be the same, but we all could be black together, or we all could be white together, or we all could be Latino together. But within those groups, we also have subgroups, and we have to accept those subgroups.
And, again, excuse us, we're babysitting. Okay, sometimes you have to do those things. But you're listening to Devil Tongue and Phantom Other on Spreaker.com. www.spreaker.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and we're working on Skype. I don't think I set up Instagram yet.
No.
I'm working on that.
Right, you're working on it.
Yeah.
You're working on it. That's
I'm
what
working
you're
on
doing.
it.
You're working on it.
But, getting back, today's episode is about bullying. This episode is about bullying. And I'm going to just read this off really fast of what occurred on September 27th.
7th, you said.
Wednesday morning at about 10 a.m. An 18-year-old, he injured a 16-year-old and killed a 15-year-old. From the story that was obtained by the police, the 18-year-old, his name is Abel Cedeno, he had been bullied for some time, allegedly, okay, let me stress, allegedly, based on his perceived sexual orientation. Now, here's the story, and this is, again, why, to me, bullying is very problematic. The two youths who were bullying him, the 16-year-old Arian LeBoy and the 15-year-old Matthew Creed, the 15-year-old was the one who was stabbed to death, they were harassing Cedeno, throwing pencils at him. Cedeno, now, most average class time is about 40 minutes, give or take. Well, I don't know how far was into the classroom instruction when the bullying began. Maybe it began immediately. Maybe some class time had passed. But Abel Cedeno actually got up to use the restroom. I'm going to say, for what it's worth, you'd think that would have stopped the bullying when he came back. All it did was put a pause in it. When he came back, the 15 to 16-year-old began harassing him again, throwing pencils at him, and a physical fight escalated between Cedeno and Matthew McCree, where Cedeno pulled out a switchblade knife and stabbed McCree in the chest to death. His friend, Arian LeBoy, came to, aid Matthew and was stabbed as well. He's still in critical condition in the hospital. Matthew McCree, unfortunately, is deceased. And Abel Cedeno is currently being held at Rikers Island on manslaughter charges. Anything you want to add to that, Phantom?
Well, I have two things to add to that. One, where's the adults who's supposed to interject into this? That's number one. Our adults are not being adults. We're in a society right now, we're looking the other way. I understand that, you know what, you don't want to get involved, that's fine. But if you're in a classroom and you're seeing things going down, you need to interject in that. That's number one. Number two, how long the bullying's been happening. Maybe this is not the first time. Maybe this is not the first class. Maybe it's happened off and on grounds. Maybe it's in the hallways. We don't know for this how it escalated to the point where he felt that I have to kill them. It's you get to the point where it's me against you. It's not like, you know what, hey, I can live another day and I'll be okay. No, today is the day. It's either I got to get rid of you today, or that's what ends up happening with a lot of kids, is that they end up killing themselves because they can't deal with it. So it becomes of, I either kill myself or I have to kill you. And majority of the time, it's either the kid's either going out to kill the bully, the kid who's being the bully majority of the time. And then there are times where when you flip it, there's the kid who goes home and kills themselves because they can't deal with it anymore and they can't deal with tomorrow.
I'm about to really get my feelings in, because first, I want to say that I personally feel that the mayor and the president of the teachers union dropped the ball. And I'll even throw the police commissioner in there, because they said, quote unquote, this particular school, PS 67, located in the Bronx, did not warrant metal detectors because their level of violence was not at a threshold where they deemed metal detectors would be necessary. Let's take a pause on that. If those of you who remember Pan Am, I forget the actual flight number, but it was this when Pan Am was in operation in business, and it was Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland. A bomb destroyed the plane. To this day, I said that if the FAA had stepped up their game and had the same security we have now, as far as bomb detection, that never would have occurred. Same thing with September 11th, but I don't want to get off, subject. This is really about bullying and how bullying affects individuals emotionally and psychologically. I don't know Abel Cedeno personally, but if he has a past history of being bullied, without actually defending what he did, I will say I understand it. I get it. You're afraid and you're fed up. And nobody knows the personal hell you're living being bullied. Whether it's by boys, girls, both sexes. And it doesn't matter what you're being bullied for. It could be weight. It could be sexual orientation. It could be because you're not that good looking. It could be because you're very beautiful, very intelligent. I am a victim of bullying when I was in school. My own child was a victim of bullying. So I will say, I do understand. Again, I'm not necessarily condoning what he did, but I will say I do understand it. And for people to, should we say, defend the victims, the 15, 16-year-old who was stabbed, my question is, were you yourself ever bullied? Or were you never bullied and you just don't get it? When we're talking on a psychological and emotional level of the victim who is being bullied on a regular basis. You listen to Devil Tongue and Phantom Other on Spreaker.com, and this episode is about bullying. There are many incidents related to, I should say, violence in city schools, mostly in urban areas. Both by kids who are bullied and kids who also do the bullying. I feel
that, don't mean to cut you off, I think there's a lot of boundary issues. I think we've gotten to a society that we feel like, what, we can do what the hell we want, we can step on other people's toes, we can cross over those lines. And what happened is that the downside of certain things is this. Certain things that were done in the closet, don't mean to put the pun into it, or certain things that were done in darkness has come to light. Okay, once upon a time, homosexuality, gays, lesbians, the LBGQ, that community was all hidden. Now they're out and about in your face. They want the same rights and everything, and they want to mainstream with society.
We're gonna take a sidebar to that. Don't lose your thought.
Okay.
Okay, now I forgot the conversation we had a while ago about Harvey Milk.
Right.
Is that school being phased out or has it been phased out?
The name changed.
The name changed.
It was being phased out. It was funny thing about that is that it was being phased out, but it hasn't completely been phased out. It turned into another institution. So the Harvey Milk School kind of like exists, but under a different name, but it's still under the same pretenses of looking out for that community.
The reason why I'm asking is because, again, Abel Cedeno, again, it's perceived that, sexual orientation may be gay, maybe bi, don't know, it's irrelevant. But I'm wondering, would this violence still have occurred if, let's say, he were attending Harvey Milk? Mm-hmm. Bullying is bullying, I guess, no matter what, school you're attending. I'm just wondering to, I guess, what level it would have risen to. This 15, 16-year-old who Cedeno admitted to the police, he never had any sort of interaction with them before.
No, they saw him as a target. Because what happened is this, okay? In the gay community, and it is what it is. I'm just going to call it what it is. You have the straight-looking gay guy, okay? The guy that looks like a straight dude, and you wouldn't know he was gay unless he told you. Then you have the flamboyant gay guy, who is, hey, how you doing? They do the act. They do, they're acting up. They do the flamboyancy. They're showing off. That's part of their character, all right? So be it. But you're advertising, okay? So you don't want to be made a mark, but you are making yourself a mark. Because you're saying, hey, I'm gay, whatever. And you should, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but there's also the controversy of you doing that. That's like saying if you were a gangster rapper back in the day, okay? And when you look at the whole persona of that, where you have all the guns, you dress a certain way, you have certain girls, everything like that. It's the persona that you're giving off. You into this, you hardcore, you into killing, you in my face, whatever like that. You get shot dead and everything like that. It's the persona. What happened is that when people see that, they automatically read what you are. Okay? Because if you walk down the street looking like Public Enemy, they're going to think you militant. If you went down the street looking like NWA, they think you gangster. When you going down the street and you are flamboyant, you with your boys, you up there flinging your hands, you wearing the loud colors, you're saying that you're gay. Because no straight guy's going to be looking like that. I'm not saying that you don't have the right to look like that. I'm not saying that. What happened is that you're advertising.
Here's what makes this a gray area. It's the same ideology of a female dressing, say, with the mini skirt, and I'll just say cleavage out. Now, does that make her, a thought, hoe, etc., etc.?
Well, no, I'll step that up one. I would step that up one. Does that call for her to get raped?
No.
But see, that's what they would tell you. The first thing when she gets raped was, what was you wearing?
And this is, I guess, the problem within society. Well, let's keep focused on school.
Yeah,
that we are trying to, find a resolution to the conflict. Because no matter how much, I guess, social emotional learning goes on, bullying is a big problem in middle and high schools. Whether it goes on in elementary, I somewhat doubt it based on the age.
I hate to tell you this, but it also goes on in the workforce.
Of course.
It also goes on in certain social cycles and social areas. Bullying is not just kids. It goes above and beyond. And to me, I don't know if they have studies out on it yet, but I want to know, does bullying come from a trained action? Meaning that, how about if your father was pushy bullying your mother? You know what I'm saying? Not abusive, but bullying. How about if your father was that alpha male out of his boys. And you between other men, and you have your beta male who doesn't want to do what you want to tell him to do. So what do? You dehumanize him by feminizing him. Oh, you acting like a bitch. Why you acting doing like this? Why you doing that? Whatever. That could be a form of bullying too.
Very, very true. Once again, we're babysitting, so those baby sounds are real. It's not sound effects from us. But, we can discuss this topic more in detail, during another episode. Unfortunately, we do have to wrap up, but you'll hear from us again. And we may even visit this again because...
And this will be a topic that should be a part 2.
You're right. And this is not going away, so neither are we. I'm Devil Tongue.
Phantom Mother.
And...
We're out.
With the baby. Bye.